What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Okay, let me get into this weird ass episode of GH today. Um, First of all, the scene with Anna and Felicia and Mac. I like how, the old school characters are back and they're talking and, interacting with each other. I'm happy for Felicia and Mac. I'm glad that they're engaged. They're getting married again. And Anna is saying how she doesn't know really how to feel about Duke again or where this relationship is going. But she kind of made it sound like her and Duke weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. When just yesterday at the nurse's ball, they kissed and told everybody that they were boyfriend girlfriend. So it's kind of like, okay, what changed? I think Anna knows damn well she wants to be with Duke. Case in point. So Mac and Felicia kept asking Anna what more could they do to help Lulu, Dante, Luke, and Laura. I'm like, there's really nothing any of y'all can do. Because y'all are in Port Charles. Y'all don't even know where Luke and the rest of them are. So there's really nothing you can do. You just got to sit tight and let Luke and Laura and the WSB handle it. That's the best you can do at this point. So Duke was at the Quartermaine mansion talking with AJ about some ELQ shit, trying to get the SEC to unfreeze their assets and stuff like that so they can get the company back afloat. And, so that way they wouldn't have to probably look for the Quartermaine ear at all. But, there's a rumor, a big rumor, that Ellie Trout is the Quartermaine ear. There's a rumor she's Lauren Frank. That's the rumor that's going around. And apparently this rumor may be true. It may be true. Ellie Trout actually might be Lauren Frank, the missing Quartermaine ear. I can't believe it. I mean, if that shit is true, I might have a stroke. But anyway, AJ and Duke were talking about Anna and, how Duke is, how he plans on, moving forward with Anna because he doesn't have a clue what to do. I think in the end, it'll work out for Duke. It'll definitely work out. I'm rooting for him. AJ was on the phone trying to get in touch with Michael, but of course he wasn't answering. I'll get to that in a minute. So he was kind of, talking to Duke about him and Elizabeth and whatnot. But anyway, the moment that we all knew was gonna come, Carly walks into Brenda's room and Michael and Brenda are in bed together. I don't believe, and of course Carly was flipping the fuck out, being all dramatic. You know how Carly do. Carly just a mess. And you could tell Brenda wanted to explain to Carly what happened the night before. Carly didn't want to hear it. Had she listened to Brenda, I think Brenda would have told her, bitch, they didn't sleep together. I don't believe in my heart. I don't believe Brenda would even sleep with Michael. I don't believe that for 2 seconds. For one, he's her former stepson. Two, she wouldn't do that to Sonny. She wouldn't do that to Sonny. She would not sleep with Sonny Child. She would not do that, especially some kid that's 20 years younger than she is. Brenda wouldn't do it. But of course, Carly wouldn't even let her explain. And Michael didn't know what happened. Here's my situation. Here's what I think happened. Here's my assumption. Michael was at the bar at the Metro Court or whatever. He got shit-faced drunk. Brenda must have found him down there when she was in the bar or whatever, probably having a drink, dealing with the stress of Jax leaving her and stuff like that. She brought Michael up to her room, put him in the bed or whatever, probably just took off his clothes or whatever and put him in the bed, and she probably just got in the bed with him. I don't believe that they slept together. I know some people saying, well, why didn't Brenda just put him on the couch, or why didn't she sleep on the couch? Who knows? But I think, of course, the writers did this on purpose just so that way, because the fans, you know, certain fans wouldn't know if they really did or not, but I don't believe they did. So Brenda was kind of taunting Carly about it, and Carly left the room, and Brenda and Michael were talking, and you know, Brenda was telling him he don't have to apologize because they have no reason to be ashamed of anything. So Michael got dressed, and I think he was just drinking because of what happened between him and Star. You know, Star broke up with him or whatever. I guess she's staying in LA. So Carly went downstairs and she was yelling at her desk clerk, telling him to get security and throw Brenda's ass out of the hotel. Bobbie and Scott walked in and she was telling Bobbie about what happened, and Bobbie was trying to calm her down, telling her that it might not be what she think it is and that she needs to think rationally. And of course, Scott with his slick ass mouth. Carly was talking about calling Sonny and telling Sonny about this, saying that Sonny was going to kill Brenda. And Bobbie was telling Carly about Sonny's temper, and you know how it is. Here's my thing. I don't think Sonny would kill Brenda, not murder her. I think he would just yell at her and pretty much kick her out of his life. That's what I think he would do. I don't think he would kill her. Of course not. So Bobbie took her cell phone and told her not to include Sonny in on this, which I think is a smart thing. Sonny don't need to know about this. And Scott was telling Carly that Michael's a grown ass man, and I agree, he's grown. Stop babying the boy. He's grown. So Michael had walked into the lobby, and I'm pretty sure Scott and Bobbie seen Michael in the lobby. That's why Scott moved towards Bobbie, so that way Carly would face Bobbie and Scott and not face the doorway where Michael was trying to escape out of. So Michael slowly inched his way out the door, which was cool. So Carly was, Bobbie had went back to the hospital to go check on Nikolas, and Carly was sitting down, and Brenda walked up behind Carly holding Michael's, I think his bow tie, telling Carly that it was in her bed, make sure that Michael gets it back. Brenda is fucking crazy. And I could tell she's just gonna milk this shit for all it's worth just to get under Carly's skin, because I don't believe she slept with Michael. Anyway, Michael goes to see AJ. They talk, and he was telling AJ that he slept with Brenda, and AJ spit the water out. I was like, they are a mess. And AJ gonna have fun with this. Michael sleeping with his former stepmother. Oh, trust me, AJ gonna relish this shit. Anyway, Nikolas back at the hospital. Alexis and Elizabeth were in Nikolas's hospital room, and Nikolas woke up. He squeezed Elizabeth's hand. She was asking him questions about what year it is, and she was asking him, do he remember anything before he got shot? And he was saying no. Then he just remembered that Lulu was in danger. He kept saying Lulu's in danger. And they were trying to tell him that Helena is the one that did it, but he kept telling them Helena didn't do it. So Luke and Laura wake up in a bed in a room. They don't know where the hell they are, so they searching around the room, and Laura looked out the window and noticed where they were. They were on Cassadine Island. So they knew it had to be a Cassadine, but they're trying to figure out, what Helena dead and her kids dead and Mikos and everybody's dead. They were wondering who the fuck took them. See, at first my mind was thinking, well, what about Valentine? Remember, she had a stepson. Helena had a stepson named Valentine, who she said was dangerous. So I'm thinking, what if it's Valentine? And so they look in the closet, and there's a note in there inviting them to the dining room or whatever, to the foyer. And they had to dress formally. They had to dress in formal attire. So Laura put on her black couture dress. He had on a tuxedo. The door opened and they walk out. So they walk into the dining room, and there's a whole setup for them. And Laura was yelling for Lulu, and Luke was telling her to save her breath because it ain't that easy. So a door just creeps open with a light. And back at the hospital, Nikolas was telling them Helena wasn't the one that took Lulu. He said it was Stavros, his father, Helena's supposed dead son. And then when the door opened at Cassadine Island, it was Stavros. I was like, oh my fucking God, Stavros Cassadine. I could have sworn it was gonna be Stefan, but it was motherfucking Stavros. I was like, oh shit, where the fuck, what hole did they dig him up from? I was so happy to see Stavros. It's been so long. Oh my God. This is like one of the good things about Ron and Frank being writers and producers of the show, because they bring back a lot of legendary characters. And that's what I love most, you know, the guys that you know that you grow up with, you get to see them again. And it was good to see Stavros with his evil ass. But anyway, I you know, I love the whole Cassadine part of this episode. That's what I really loved about today's episode. Otherwise, it was like a mediocre episode. But anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow so we could get more info on what the hell happened with Stavros all them years ago. But anyway, I'll see all of you tomorrow. Have a great day. See you all later.